Welcome to Chef and Guac, the podcast. I am your host, El Guaco, and with me, it is my co-host, the skills that bring the thrills in the kitchen, and Chef Ty. How are you doing today, man?
Good, bro. How are you, bro?
I am doing good, man. A little bit under the weather, but it's all right. I mean, it's still a lot of stuff going on in NBA, NFL, so, I'm pumped, I'm excited, and I'm just happy to be here.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, but first, let's talk about just our other channels on YouTube. Chef Ty here, he has his own cooking channel. It's called More Cooking. So if anybody is just interested in learning about different type of cultures, cuisines, and just want to make a nice meal for somebody, check that out. I'll leave a link into the description below. And also as well, if you like video games, pop culture, anime, I have my own gaming channel, and it's called Ichigo A1, and I will also as well leave that down below for you all to like, comment, and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into the NBA. But first things first, let's talk about today and this day in history. Basketball's going on. We're seeing a lot of the new guys, whipping it up. But let's just take a moment just to appreciate how we got here. So literally on this day, Bill Russell got 32 rebounds in one half. He finished the game with 49 rebounds. That is a NBA record. Literally nobody else has done that. And later in his career, he grabbed 51 rebounds in the game against Syracuse, but I was on another later day. But on this day, he scored 49 points, all right? Another fun fact too, Wilt Chamberlain of the San Francisco Warriors, so that was a long time ago, 1962. He scored 73 points against the New York Knickerbockers, and that's tied for the third highest single game point total in NBA history. So that's pretty impressive. And if we really think that these guys this day balling, shoot, man, I don't think nobody is getting 49 rebounds, let alone 32 rebounds in a half. I mean,
do you think that there's anybody in the league that could potentially at some point in time in their career do it?
Probably Russell Westbrook. If he really tried to chase records and stats, I mean, he could probably do it. If not, other than that, I don't know.
He's definitely like one of the most aggressive rebounders out there.
That's what I'm saying. I think today a lot of guys play a lot of team basketball. So a lot of people aren't really worried about trying to break records and do all this extra stuff. They're just trying to win a championship, honestly, right now.
And that's what's important.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just a couple of fun facts right there. We definitely got to appreciate NBA history right there. But let's move on into NBA power rankings, man. And I'm just going to do top 10 right now. You already know number one, Golden State Warriors. Last week, they were number 2. Right now, our record is, I believe, 11-2 right now. Right now, defensive rating, number 1 in the league, offensively third. So they're having a stellar season. Number 2, Chicago Bulls, moving up from number 9 last week. The record right now is 9-4. 10-4. I'm sorry, because they did just win yesterday to the Lakers. Caruso got his little, clapping honors over there. They are right now 5th in defensive rating and 13th in offensive rating. So, not bad. Number 3, Brooklyn Nets. Last week, 3rd, even 10-4. Offensive rating right now is 14th and defensively 7th. Moving on down to the Washington Wizards, who are 1st in the East right now. Shocker. They are 10-3 right now. Offensive rating 17, defensive rating number 4. They're having a stellar season with all those new additions over there. And number 5, we the Valley, Phoenix. Last week we were 10th. Right now we're 2nd in the West at 10-3 right now. Pretty much breaking even right now, offensive and defensive, rating 8th overall. And we'll go down there to the Miami Heat right now. They are number 6. Last week they were number 1. So they did kind of dip off over there, but they're right now 9-5 right now. Not bad. Offensive rating number 4, defensively 5. And your boy over there, Cleveland Cavaliers, number 7 right now. and their record is 9-6. Offensive rating 21st in the league. Y'all gonna need some work on that. Defensively, number 6. So top 10, not bad. Just literally one spot out of the top 5. So that's not bad. Not gonna knock y'all too much, especially with that injury. We'll talk about that later. And number 8, we got the Denver Nuggets right now. They are ranked 4th in the Western Conference at 9-5. They are offensively 18th, and defensive rating is number 2. So not bad on the defensive end. And we have the Utah Jazz at number 9. Last week they were 5, so they went down for 4 spots, and their record is 8-5. Offensive rating is 2nd, and their defensive rating is just shy of the top 10 at 11th. And finally, it is the Los Angeles, not Lakers, Clippers. They moved up tremendously last week, 18th. Now 10th. They are 8-5 right now. 6 seed, just one up above from the play-in tournament. And they are offensive rating 19th and defensive rating number 3. So, Ty, last week into this week, how are you liking it? What are you seeing? And I know you got that injury over there, man. How are you liking so far what you're seeing?
Yeah. Well, as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers are concerned, and we're very banged up right now. We have like 5 or 6 players that are out or hurt or in some capacity not being able to play to their fullest. So definitely going to be a little rough start here after such a nice start. But I mean, also to be expected, we weren't expecting us to really keep up the momentum all season long. At some point, I figured we would just, not fall off, but, come back down to earth a little bit, get back more like that mid-seed area we're kind of sitting there right now. And hopefully we can keep that and make the playoffs with our young team, which I think will be some good playoff experience, even if we do lose first round or anything like that. But I mean, any playoff experience is good playoff experience. But something I'm shocked this week, shocked at the Lakers. Especially getting blown out by the Bulls, even though I know the Bulls are contenders this year and something to be reckoned with possibly MVP DeRozan over there playing really well with this team. The Lakers, like Anthony Davis said and has said multiple times at this point, their defense is just really bad. And in the third quarter, they just kind of let teams get back in the game if they're up or extend their lead if they're down. And offensively, they can't get things going, and defensively, they're not doing much else. And so, I mean, when those two things, you can't get it together on offense or defense, it just amounts to where they're sitting at right now, which is outside of the playoffs. Hopefully, throughout the season, they can figure that out, especially, adding LeBron back into the lineup. But I don't know. I mean, for teams with such high hopes of, championship aspirations, it is getting hard to see them make it there through what looks like a really tough Western Conference in general. And potentially, they could just be sitting out right outside a play-in tournament, which is really bad for them. Unless they just put off a Cinderella story and go from there to the championship, which would be crazy.
Yeah, it's so funny because at the start of the year, everybody's like Lakers going. And a couple of analysts that were definitely speculative of Russell Westbrook. And I mean, he's not proving anybody wrong, anybody different overall. You can't win a championship by turning over the ball so much. Like him trying to get all these stats, triple-double every single night. That's all fine and all on like an own personal level, but we're talking about team basketball. We're talking about your own legacy here right now. You have records out of the wazoo, but there's literally one thing that you don't have, and that's a ring. That's a ring right there. AD has a ring. LeBron has 4 of them. So I mean, I don't know what's up. It's just not good chemistry. And look, don't quote me on this, but quote me on this. If they trade him before the trade deadline this year, I won't be surprised at all. Definitely won't, man. I don't know. It's just my hunch. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably make it work. We'll see. But man, I mean, they would have been better off train for Buddy Hield at this moment, honestly.
I mean, yes, I see it and I don't see it because I think Russell Westbrook has been playing as bad as what it seems like, because he's like the newest guy there, he has the most pressure being the big star that he is, with LeBron not being there as well. And you're trying to integrate into a new system under a new coach and all of that. Yep. Like a lot of that, and this is also, remember, this is also a first year. So, I mean, It's not like, yes, the window is small for them to win this championship being an older team, but it's also like, all right, there is some window of growth here that has to be from, we're just playing the first few games. Let's get in the rhythm, learn new offense and everything. But, people don't really think about all those things, first few games of the season, and then make some crazy accusations. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, yes, Westbrook hasn't been the best, but you have seen flashes where he just wins you a game. And sometimes, especially when LeBron is now being considered out for games and whatnot, out more often, sometimes that's what you need, especially on a team like this where sometimes your best players come off the bench and mellow, and which is a good thing. But I mean, if you're relying on the guy off your bench to make all your shots for you, I mean, what does that mean for your starting lineup who's on the floor more than your bench players?
Look, I'm not denying the guy's talent. I'm not. He is a superstar. He is a generational talent, but it's just not mixing well with the team overall. And I think, as just like over time, and we only have 15 games in of the season right now, it's still a very small sample size. So it's like, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just want to at least get to Christmas and just see where exactly everybody's at. And then I'll start making a little bit more of a stronger opinion overall. But like, I just want to see growth. I don't want to see Russell Westbrook over there. I need him to start making shots, shooting it right, and just playing better overall team basketball, because I seen a couple of those plays on the Bulls, and he was just I don't know what he was doing overall. But I mean, LeBron James, he is injured. He is expected to come back later on this week, as per sources. So we'll see how this big three truly meshes overall, and we'll just take it from there overall. I do like how my Suns are getting that mentality back right now, 10-3. I mean, I mean, our last 10 games, we're literally 9-1. So I mean, just from my team, I'm liking just what I'm saying. We're coming for you, Golden State Warriors over there, but man, Steph and them and that team, they actually did it smart. I thought about this honestly, and I was like, what if they would have drafted LaMelo Ball? How would their offense be like different? And it might be another scorer, might be another playmaker, but I think they pretty much nailed their like draft picks overall. Like it's still more time to grow, but like as like we're seeing right now, I mean, they have their, like Steph, I know plays out, but like Draymond and just like Iggy, he does bring leadership and just like championship experience. But I mean, Gary Payton, the second is balling out. Jordan Poole and all these guys are really getting it done. So like what they've done just to turn around is pretty commemorable, and I can't really knock them honestly. If they really pulled this off, Steph might win another MVP this year, honestly, because he doesn't have to play and he has this younger team, and he's showing that, I mean, it don't matter, like I'm balling out, and he's taking advantage. I was just like last year, like Bucks, everybody hurt. I mean, shoot me, you gotta get it how you can right now, honestly. So I am liking what I'm seeing over there. I am shocked at the Wizards right now. They are 10-3, but I mean, it is still early. You know what I mean? And at the, East, everybody's moving up first, Miami up there, Chicago, Washington. I mean, it's just a whole little, it's the East. And so I am liking that. Definitely. And I know nobody's sleeping on the Nets, but they're like literally right there too at 10-4. So I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the better Eastern conferences. Like I've seen in a long time, honestly, and I'm impressed. I'm just disappointed in the Bucks, like 6-8. I mean, they're not even in the playing tournament right now. Like just and I know it's still early, but I mean, like You know, as
Yeah,
the championship
that's
slump.
injuries to do that to you.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Chris Middleton's been out for a good minute now. I have him on fantasy team, and him being out has just been a big loss all around for that team. And then Giannis trying to produce everything by himself with no real like secondary wingman consistently every day, every night. Because sometimes you have flashes from players, from like guys like Grayson Allen and Brook Lopez, like they'll have their moments, but I mean, there's nobody consistently there to really help them out. So I feel like that's really hurting them. And once they get back healthy, though, I think they'll be right back on track.
Chris Middleton
might be a little championship hangover there, maybe. But I mean, I do agree. I do like what I'm seeing from the Warriors this year so far. I think like a few years ago when they were really bad, everybody was talking about, they need to figure out what they're going to do, whether they're going for a championship or going for a rebuild when everybody was getting back healthy and everything. And I think they've done a really good job of rebuilding and being a championship contender now, because now you've added in a young Jonathan Kuminga who can play some solid defense for you and is getting mentored by guys like Draymond Green, who are in Defensive Player of the Year conversations once again. And then also guys like James Wiseman, if he comes back and he's just as solid as, Kuminga can be, or be just a solid big man there for this team. I mean, you're not asking for too much, and developing young guys like Gary Payton III, well, not really young, but Gary Payton III or second, and Jordan Poole, developing guys like that to really get confident in their shooting and them getting more shots and shooting more consistently throughout games, as well as Andrew Wiggins. So I mean, they took a lot of inconsistent guys and made them a lot more consistent, or helped them get to that point. And I think if it works out, that'd be like a really crazy thing to think about, from going from championship to top of the lottery to back on championship again in a few years. It's really crazy to think about. And I do think Steph could win an MVP this year if he keeps continuing to play the way he's been playing. But I think he's going to have a lot of competition with KD and company over there. I think he's still out there just proving he's just, without a doubt, the best scorer that we've ever seen. Almost unstoppable with unreal percentages, shooting like 60% from the field, almost like 50% from three, just making almost half of everything he shoots. If it goes up, it's almost guaranteed it's going to go in. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat him this year, possibly, but we will definitely see. With the one seed on both sides, it'll really be a tussle for one at that point.
Yeah, I know. Now, I just wish that they would do the MVP after playoffs, or just at least after like the first or second round, just to get a little bit more weigh in, if that's the case. But, I digress overall. Look, both of them definitely have two big resumes in terms of, like who should really win it or not. Both of them are both out with their secondary options, and they're both playing amazing basketball. So we just have to wait and see. I mean, I'm excited. It's the way more basketball going on. We're only 15 games in. So, I mean, was this like week 3, week 4? I mean, we still got way more good basketball coming. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've been trying to hold that cough in for the longest.
You good, bro?
Hold on. And all right, let's move on to our next topic: Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, Defensive Player of the Year broke down like this: Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, Draymond Green, Bam Adebayo, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. This year, a little bit still the same, but number 1 right now, Draymond Green, 2, Miles Turner, 3, Gary Trent Jr., and the next 5 after that are talking about Anthony Davis. I don't even know how to pronounce Youngblood's name. Matisse Thybulle, Rudy Gobert, Marcus Smart, and Evan Mobley. So, one, do you think that the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, will be able to keep his crown, or do you think that Draymond's going to be dominant all the way out? If not, there's a bunch of other guys over there that is definitely balling out. Who do you see being Defensive Player of the Year?
Truthfully, right now, I don't see Rudy Gobert winning it, but not because he's not being as dominant as he can be.
Yeah.
I think he's chosen to be more offensive minded this year, which means his defense had to take a little bit of a shot.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see if that continues throughout the year because he has been better on the offensive side of the ball this year. But I mean, maybe they need him to be more defensive, and maybe he turns it up midway through the season or something like that by Christmas time. But I don't know that Draymond Green will necessarily keep up the same defensive intensity. I mean, I'm sure he will keep up the intensity because that's who he is.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know that it will continuously translate. That's my thing with Draymond Green.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll always translate well for them every game. Defensively, not and just specifically his defensive presence, even though I know he is somebody to be feared on the defensive end. But I mean, as far as defensive player of the year, I mean, now you got guys like Bam Adebayo, who's been playing really well on the defensive side of the ball, guarding whoever he needed to guard and guarding them well. And then also guys like Miles Turner, who's just been locking down the paint and swatting blocks, literally everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely a lot of the younger guys up and coming right now, and I'm not sure that Draymond can continue to hold fast as long as he is right now, continuously through the whole season for him to win it again.
Now look, we are seeing a switch in the league right now from past stars into new stars right now. Same thing when Michael Jordan retired, Kobe Bryant emerged. Since Kobe got a little bit later on, LeBron James emerged, and now we're seeing Melo and all these young cats out here balling. So I do hope that one of these younger guys, preferably Miles Turner, if he does keep it up, he could probably definitely win Defensive Player of the Year. But I'm not going to knock out anybody overall. I just know that this has been so far some of the better basketball we've seen in a long time. I actually do. Now look, one question for you real quick. How are you liking that new offensive rule change over there in terms of rebounds? I mean, I don't know why I say rebounds. In terms of offensive fouls, how are you liking that overall?
Say that question one more time for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. How are you liking the rule change and its effect on the NBA of today?
Oh, okay. I got you. So far, honestly, I enjoy it. It's more enjoyable to watch. We don't have to sit here like the last few minutes of the game and we got like tic-tac fouls being called every 4 seconds. On the other hand, I like the fact that it's definitely more physical now. You can be more physical as a defender, and it's definitely something to watch out for because some people are going to start getting more mad. Jesus, keep kicking the table. People are starting to get more upset and frustrated, with tougher defense being played. But I think that makes for better players. It kind of weeds out who's going to stay around longer. Because I mean, you got to be able to make these tough shots at the end of the day. And although some of these guys are tough shot makers, are you going to be able to continue it through a whole season making these tough shots because they're not just calling any and everything anymore? And are you going to be able to step up to the plate and still make your shots that you were making before, even though they may not call it? At the end of the day, that's what matters. If you make the shot or not. I mean, you really worry about what the ref calls it later. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I don't think there's no sense in really trying to, complain about it and be mad about it. You just kind of play through it. It's one of those things like you already in the NBA, there are refs who call the game really closely, and then there's refs that call it very loosely. Mm-hmm. So I mean, different styles of who you got to play up against and everything like that. So I mean, this isn't the first time you've had to go up against players that are going to be rough with you like that, but you're just going to experience it a lot more often than you have in the past. And if you are who you say you are, if you are as dominant of a player as you think you are, and you've proven to be, you can continue doing it. Because I mean, you see guys like Kevin Durant who don't seem bothered at all by any of this. Yep. Like he said, I'm still gonna get my shot regardless of whatever you do. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you really are a hooper like you say you are, I mean, I don't think it should really bother you all that much.
hmm Well, look, I love it. They're really letting these guys play, not calling all these unnecessary fouls, stopping the game, making just the pace of the game more of a drag, overall. And just like how you said, like those last couple minutes of the game, like it's exciting. Like I want to watch it even more. Like I love basketball, but this is, you know, now look, the NBA is getting credit for doing something that they should have probably done years ago. Granted, I'm glad that they did change it, and it is making it for a more physical and a more skillful basketball experience. And so I do commend the NBA for finally um, acknowledging and realizing that, like, hey, like we gotta switch it up because I mean, it was getting kind of complacent and just really seeing guys just like go to the free throw line. Like it just really was like, it is what it is. But yeah, so far not a bad rule. And I'm just happy to see what other changes that the NBA does do in the future. Yeah,
Sure.
yes, sir. And we can move on to the NFL. I believe that does cover everything NBA so far. But if we go over here, first of all, I gotta make the switch. You guys already know. Gotta put my bam. All right, now I'm ready. All right, so now it's NFL time, and we're just gonna look at last week's scores. Starting with that Thursday night game, Dolphins Ravens 22-10. Man, I don't even know what happened to y'all last week, dog. That was a meltdown to the Dolphins. To the Dolphins, man. Whoa, man. What? How you feel about that, man? How you feel?
Definitely a bad loss. It was definitely another game I didn't have a chance to watch because I was working. But I mean, just I saw the score about halfway through, and it's just been like every game this season where we're trying to play superhero in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
We're down, and then we just try to do it again, and we just couldn't pull it out this time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't necessarily think it was a case of really the Miami Dolphins were better than us because they're the Miami Dolphins and they aren't.
Yeah.
But I think it was a case of more we expected it to be easy. And even
Mhm.
though we're very banged up right now, expected an easy win and we'll be fine. They got a low lead. We're gonna come back like we always do and we couldn't do it. So I mean I think we got a little confident and then got punched in the mouth. So I mean that's it's what happens. Um so we'll see if we can turn it around in the coming weeks and really turn it up. Because I mean, I don't think we have really a big challenge in our division right now. I think there's inconsistency amongst all the rest of the teams anyway. So I think we're still the best team in our division.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're trying to get to a Super Bowl, and
I mean, the
that kind
Steelers
of plays
tied
in
with the
the
Lions this week, so I mean, trust me, you
yeah,
guys are still up there.
yeah. So I mean, like we're focused on bigger things than
Yeah.
what the Steelers are doing. So definitely trying to get into the Super Bowl and playing like we played this week isn't gonna cut it. So
Yeah. I mean, it's always next week, and we'll see what you guys definitely do this week. Buffalo, Bills, and the Jets, 45-17 blowout. We ain't got to talk about that. It's the Jets. I mean, the Bills stepped it up. They did what they did. The one game that you got me on, I believe, was the Washington football team, because you did call that game. I do recall. And I was like, Chase Young did come out of the game, end of the year injury, but Tom Brady looked like Tom. They literally, I believe Bruce Arians said that they just played off and the play calling was just terrible. I mean, he's supposed to be a defending Super Bowl champs, and they lose 2 games straight back to back. I mean, at literally any given Sunday, and the Bucks lost this one, man. So definitely hats off to you for picking that game. I was really thinking that Tom was going to be a terrific, but he let me down on that one.
Sometimes just picking the random pick can
Hey.
just work in your favor.
Hey, man, I should have chose the Dolphins last week, man.
Should have been a betting man.
I'm already hip. All right, moving on to the next game. Another game that you beat me on too, Cowboys Falcons. I believe that you had the Cowboys 43-3. That joint was a whooping, dismal, just horrible game for the Falcons. Cowboys had a good game after they then lost to us last week. I just gotta mention that because we did lose last week, but we beat them and they beat the Falcons. So hats off to them. That was their largest margin of victory too since week 8 of 2000. So they really balled out over there. So congrats to you again on that win right there.
Yeah, might be something to mess with over there.
Saints Titans. Who'd you have on this game?
I believe I had the Titans. I think I had the Titans going for this one, but I don't remember.
Well, actually, I think I had the Titans too, but I think I had the Saints. Either or, Titans pulled out a nice victory again without Derrick Henry. You're really proven to a lot of people that they're just not Derrick Henry, that they are a complete team. So they are 8-2. Pretty sure they're going to win their division this year. Their whole division is pretty much a cakewalk anyway, because Texans ain't really that good. The Jags ain't good. And you got the Colts over there, not that good either. So I mean, overall, right there, hats off to the Titans. Yeah, I mean, like right now, they could. I'm not gonna say not keep their foot on the gas, but they could probably just gently, just a little bit. But I know that they still got more to prove. So not a bad game.
Especially having Julio Jones over there now and everything.
He just got injured too. I believe Julio Jones just got injured. So I mean, speaking of which, I retract that statement. They probably do got to put their foot on the gas even more because they did lose Julio, which wasn't really necessarily making a difference. But still, when you lose Derrick Henry and you trade for Julio, and they're both out,
I mean, it could lead for good things for them in the future. I mean, having your two star players out could give them the rest they need to come back stronger next year, and then develop a lot of these young guys to really step up and be playmakers when your big guys are getting beat up harder. Because I mean, Julio Jones is one of those guys you got to put two guys on sometimes, and Derrick Henry is one of those guys you got to put everybody. You got to take the whole line and just put them in front of them to stop them because putting one ain't gonna do it all the time. So yeah. I mean, if you can develop some other guys, some of these young guys, and get them that winning mindset with this relatively easy division of winning, that could be really good motivation for them coming back next year. If they don't have enough weapons to actually get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Next game it would be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. 23-17. Colts did that. It's not really much to talk about over there. Fun fact though, their running back Taylor, he's had 1+ rushing yards in 7 straight games. That's the longest streak since 1980. So they're playing okay. Like they're literally even out 5-5 right now. I'm not gonna sweat the Colts. Yeah,
wild cards.
Yeah, I don't look. It got to be some. I mean, I know that the Titans are definitely getting hit, a lot of injuries and stuff, but they're shelling out and they're playing good ball. So I mean, can't really take nothing, off there. We'll just move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Lions. And I know I gave y'all flack for losing to the Dolphins, but I mean, shoot, I'd rather lose to the Dolphins than the freaking tie with the Lions. Honestly, 16-16. I mean, like, but they ain't even win a game yet, and then you ain't giving another loss. Like, you literally tied. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. They're just having a really rough season. I think it is time for them to make some changes. Whether it's time to change up the coaching or change up the quarterback, because they've had the same quarterback and Ben Roethlisberger, and I don't think he's that dude that's going to win you a Super Bowl no more. I don't think he's like that.
No, we gotta really start planning for the future over there.
Yeah, like your defense is solid, but I mean, and it's almost always is. But I mean, with a subpar quarterback, there's not much you're gonna be able to do, especially if you can't even score on Detroit.
Yeah,
who's
I mean,
pretty bad. So
and y'all whole division is a young quarterback driven division. Ben Roethlisberger is the eldest one over there. You got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. So I mean, it's time for a change. Get some young blood in there. Get some energy there. I just think it's just Ben's time is over. Ben time is over. I'm sorry. Next game, Patriots Browns. I know you're happy because that's another team in your division that took an L 45-7, blown out. Mac Jones is the first rookie in New England's history to have 3+ passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So this guy's balling out. So I commend what they're doing. They're having a little turnaround. I don't necessarily think that they're going to win their division, but they could definitely probably be a wild card team if they play their cards right overall.
yeah, I mean, you in the good. They're in a rebuilding phase right now. So I mean,
Yeah.
Mac Jones is playing well. So I mean, if you draft some weapons around him, this team could be really solid in the next 2-3 years. I mean, that's all it really takes. You put a couple weapons around a good quarterback, and he continues to play good. You could have another, good situation on your hands. Be back in the Super Bowl again.
Yep. Yes, sir. Next game, Vikings Chargers. And I'm so happy Chargers lost 27-0, man. Kirk Cousins has had 12 passing TDs on the road in 5 games this season. That was a good game, a good defensive game overall there. And not really much to say about those two teams overall. Vikings, they're not going to the playoffs this year. If they do, it's a shock to me overall because I got Green Bay winning that division and the Chargers. I mean, I hope they don't make it to the playoffs this year because I'm hoping that the Broncos go to the playoffs. But I digress. Justin Herbert is a good, nice QB overall, and I do want to see some of these young quarterbacks actually make a name for themselves. So let's just hope that it's just not another Phillip Rivers situation, and hopefully one day they can go to the Super Bowl. Sure. Next game, which was I'm not going to say it wasn't expected because they do have a couple of their other guys injured. Panthers Cardinals 34-10. Cam is back. He had that run. He had that throw. I mean, PJ Walker, QB and youngin from the XFL, really, really balled out. Did an amazing job, and it was great. So, yeah, that was good.
Definitely good to see Cam back in the Panthers jersey again and balling out. And see him doing good. I mean, this guy who went from MVP to almost out of the league and just sitting in free agency waiting for a call, and now back, full circle again, back on the Panthers. So I mean, hopefully everything works out for him. I'm a fan of Cam Newton, so I mean, hopefully things go well for him in this organization going forward.
Yes, sir. Well, I hope he does have a resurgence right there. Eagles, Broncos right there. 30-13. We really we really fumbled the bag after blowing out Dallas last week. So I'm not gonna talk too much over there. We just gotta get our stuff together. But congratulations, Eagles. You are the only team in the NFC East to beat us. So I mean, good job. Good job. Next game, Packers Seahawks right there, 17-0. That was horrible, but low scoring game, pretty good, a defensive game, not bad.
Yeah, 2 beat up teams with I don't think neither of them had to start QB anyway. So I mean, it was just a battle of the backups, and that's what you got.
Yeah, sir. Chiefs Raiders, pretty decent game. Patrick Mahomes looking like he about to come back into his 406 passing yards, 5 TDs, 0 interceptions, 41-14 right there. Good job, Chiefs. And that was crazy, man. Really, really good right there. So yeah, hats off to the Chiefs. I believe they are leading our division right now. If I had to choose anybody else other than us to go, it probably would be the Chiefs. So it is good to see Patty, my homeboys, stepping up and doing that thing over there. And for the shocker of the week to another one, man, 49ers and Rams, 31-10. Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr. in that joint. I seen some of the players. I'm like, yo, Matthew Stafford, what were you throwing, man? So hats off to the 49ers. Jimmy G is 5-0. against the Rams. So I mean, that was a
I
betting
mean,
man.
that might just be one of them games where he just has that team's number.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. So I mean, it's a rough start for all these new players so far. But I think going forward, I think they're going to figure it out going forward into the season. They were already playing well before OBJ and Von Miller got there, and I think they'll continue it once these guys get acclimated to this new environment and everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's too much to worry about right now, but we'll see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, we got a whole nother week with some good meat football, and we'll go through the scores next week and just see some of those wild games and some of those games that we definitely do expect, to play out. So yeah, that's going to end our podcast for today. Thank you all for definitely showing in. NBA season's back. It's back in its full force. NFL season is here, has been here, and I just can't wait to see, who's going to go to the playoffs. We can start making, Super Bowl predictions overall. So, so please, without further ado.
One more thing before we go.
Oh, yeah.
Say who you have winning tonight between the Warriors and the Nets coming on, I think the first game of the night.
Oh, Nets.
You think the Nets going to win? I think it's going to be a good game. Two of the top MVP candidates going head to head right now. So I think it's a must-see game, and it's definitely going to be something to watch.
Well, look, we'll definitely talk about that next week on the podcast, and just move on from there overall. But thank you all for joining in. Please definitely like, subscribe, comment down below, and if you like any other things like cooking, my man Ty has a more cooking podcast. I'm gonna leave that in the description below. If you like anime, pop culture, anything like that, I have my Ichigo A1 podcast over there, and I definitely will leave that in the description below as well. So thank you all for coming to Chef and Guac the podcast, and we'll catch you again on the next video.
Yes, sir. See y'all later. Peace.
All right.